Hey guys, what's going on? Flawless Crested Geckos here. Will, Audra,
Hi.
coming to you guys with another video. That's what I always say.
That's what you always say. He's a creature of habit.
Yeah, I'm tired.
I noticed.
But
He did legs this morning.
Yeah.
That always wipes him out.
Yeah, gotta stay consistent. But we're gonna try to keep the video as upbeat as possible.
What are you talking about? This is a blessed day.
It's an awesome day, really. I'm just tired. Well, if you guys been following, we've had quite the journey the past few weeks, actually. We've consistently put out content for you guys. We've been marketing and promoting all over Facebook and Instagram and Google and everything else. And along with running the other business, Flawless Exotic Creations, and doing all-day road trips and all kinds of things. Then we made a last minute change to scheduling, and I had to head out there to Altitude Exotics out in Aurora, Colorado. And it is cold.
Yeah, I wouldn't be good at out there.
It is freezing out there. So we're doing all of that at the same time, dropping our own release and Patreon and early access. We literally have, been behind, caught up, fall behind, caught up,
fall behind.
Yeah, bombarded with emails and messages, and thank goodness we've been able to handle that. Audra was able to kind of hold down the fort, answer all the messages. We're actually thankful that we started the Patreon early access a week earlier, so that was cool.
Well, it helps because by the time you get to Thanksgiving, the day of Thanksgiving, we're already kind of on the tail end of like our major release,
right? And
it allowed for for him to be able to go and do, and then me, I was able to stay back here, feed geckos, take care of animals, make sure everything stayed running appropriately. Ended up having some kid labor Friday.
Close sales and do all
close sales, yeah.
And this helps because traditionally our event, we don't do just Black Friday. We do it as a Black Friday week event.
Yes.
And that's how we do it every single year. It's our biggest sale of the year. We don't really do too many sales per se. We do website updates and release.
If you're trying to get the best price on like our animals, then the best thing to do is join our Patreon.
Right, absolutely. Join the Patreon. You can actually send in special requests, things that you're looking for, things that we may not have listed. If you guys check the website right now, not sure, I believe we have 50 or 60 geckos available now. That's pretty constant, and we normally update that every 2 to 3 months.
Yeah, 2 to 3 months.
And
but Patreon always gets a 48-hour preview.
Absolutely.
And they always get 5% off on top of whatever it is that we're running at that time. And they always get free shipping.
And it really comes in handy too, because what I've been noticing, I'm sure Audra notices the same thing. As we get deeper and deeper into these projects, we dropped some, absolute stunners this time around. We try to do it every single time. We would love to, obviously we're Flawless, we would love to present Flawless Crested Geckos available for purchase every single time. And I think we really went, above and beyond what we normally put out this go around, because we even put out like high whites.
Oh man, there was this one girl.
One of one
she
geckos.
Was like paper white.
The geckos we showed off earlier last week, they were some of the first ones to kind of jump out there and get snagged up. And these are high dollar geckos that at the time still was 50% off at that time.
Great prices.
So people were still
really
snagging
got
them
lucky.
up. Yeah. And honestly, the craziest thing, that's why we want to put this video out. I would say this ranks up there with last year, the year prior, right on par with every Black Friday we've had. We did not see dip in sales. Everything was consistent.
I honestly think this year was even better than last year. And so that's a blessing.
To give you guys kind of a perspective, if you happen to check out the site during the sale, you would have noticed that a lot of the geckos that were sold were high dollar geckos, high value projects, empty backs, the Exantics. Shoot, the Exantics, we had a ton listed, Exantics and Hets, and they didn't make it through Patreon release. I want to say they were all snagged up. We were getting messages after we went live where people were trying to buy Exantics and inquiring, but we didn't have any available. They were already all snagged up. Same thing with the high whites. People were trying to come and get them, and they were already gone.
I think we had one charcoal on there, and that was gone.
And then people are really finally, I know we've been doing it now. This is what, the third year of Patreon, is it? This is going into the third year of Patreon. And people are finally like really fully realizing what it's all about.
Yes. I don't understand because we put it out a lot, and I think the people that follow us constantly already kind of know, but if you've jumped in and just started following us, you just really don't know that Patreon's such a big benefit, because if you're going to buy geckos, it is a perfect way of pretty much putting a payment plan on whatever gecko you choose without actually having to choose the gecko that you've already, that you're already paying for. So like once it gets to the end, all of your money that you put in, whether you're on the $50 tier or the $100 tier, every single penny of your money, plus some, because we do giveaways and stuff, goes back to you to be able to purchase geckos from us.
And I'll say this to kind of finish off that, we always promoting, but that I think what it is by being in the crested gecko industry hobby field, that it's so not normal that you have that opportunity to kind of be a part of an organization, a Patreon, a group, or something like that, because I haven't seen too many people. If I miss someone, I'm sorry, but I haven't seen too many other breeders establish anything like that. So when someone comes across it, you're not quite sure how to receive it or how to process it. So we've had people that join up that's followed us for a very, very long time, and finally seen our like 100th commercial, and they're like, oh wow, I didn't know it was like this.
We've had people sign up for Patreon. Okay, they were Patreon members, and like for instance last year we had them sign up and they chose a couple of the geckos, and then I was like, do you want to go ahead and use the the $50 or whatever, $100 tier, whatever it was that they had, that was their first month, and they're like, oh, I get to use that? That's your money. Like, absolutely.
On top of that, there was people who ended up messaging, through Patreon, through the early release, and snagging Exantics and having to pay nothing out of pocket.
Yeah, I know, which is awesome.
Because they already had it banked.
They already have it banked.
Literally visual Exantics and had to pay nothing. So there's tons of benefits to it, but we kind of want to stay on track and tell you guys the reflection of this year. It blew our wildest expectations out of the water. We are so thankful to you guys. If you've purchased geckos, if you viewed videos and watched us consistently, definitely hit that subscribe button. We are so thankful to have you. We are so thankful to be able to live the lives that we are living as crested gecko breeders. At first, this is year 9, and at first of getting into it full time, it was quite awkward to be amongst, friends or family members, associates, and
people
everyone's like, what do you guys do? Or, and we're like, oh, well, we breed crested geckos. And they're like, looking at it as weird. And now, honestly, it's a badge of honor, where before we will only reach out to people in the community. Hey, follow, subscribe, check us out. Now we find ourselves sending, videos, sending content, sending clips, sending milestones that we're surpassing to friends and family members.
Yeah, they're like,
even not in the industry.
Not interested in the industry at all, which is a really cool thing. It's so much fun. Like,
are you guys needing some assistance with your crested gecko breeding programs? Well, check out our Patreon. We've been running it here now for pretty much close to 2 years. Everyone's been extremely excited. We keep adding new perks every time you guys turn around. We give away Xantics, we give away high whites, we give away lily whites. We actually upgraded this year to we're giving away over 12 geckos every single year. That averages out to at least a gecko a month, and we've been doing over that. So you are not going to want to miss becoming a part of the Flawless Crested Geckos Patreon family. There's 2 tiers. There's a $50 tier and there's a $100 tier. You get all your funds back in the form of Flawless Crested Gecko savings account. You can take advantage of having 5% additional off by being a Patreon member, as well as having year-round free shipping. You guys are not going to want to miss this, so go head over to patreon.com/Flawless Crested Geckos.
The people that were so adverse, like even like myself, you guys know that I had this, I've said it a million times, I'll say it again, I had this horrible fear of snakes, and now I don't, and it's just been such a beautiful transition over the years. But even those people that were my best friends that were petrified of reptiles and all that kind of stuff, they have gotten somewhat comfortable with these, not even having them, just by being around us.
And everyone's always wishing us well.
Yes.
I think a lot of people in our personal lives, not you guys, but in our personal lives, they kind of looked at us when we left law enforcement like, oh, this is a bomb kind of waiting to go off. Oh, they'll be back. And, now we've even, those people have reached out to us and said, express how happy they are for us.
Hey, we've had some people say, can we invest?
Yeah.
And I'm like, no. You can do it, though.
I'm happy you brought that up. I'll hit on that real quick so we don't make it a long video. So we had to make sense to people. So we had people, during the development stages of the business that finally saw, the facility being built, us sustaining everything and growing year after year, that they came and, police officers, with 401ks, investments, and they're like, hey, I could pull some money out of the bank. I can do this and do that. And they literally hit us up, several people. Hey, are you looking for investors? We're like, no. He said, you sure you can grow faster? So they want to kind of invest in you and try to educate you on what they want you to do with their funds. But as I explained it to them, it made full sense to them. I said, no, it does not pay for us to take $20, $30, $50,000 of an investment from anyone, because now where we sit here and say, I want to do X, Y, and Z. Audra says she want to do X, Y, and Z. We have a meeting of the minds and we come up with a game plan. But if you have an investor, not only do we have to have a meeting of the minds, now you have to bring it to the investor now, because they have a stake in the company and a say so on what your next move is going to be. And essentially, I'm telling you, we spend a lot of long hours down there feeding geckos and cleaning geckos. And I'll be dang if we're going to be down there grinding and somebody else, has put in investment. And kick back funds, at the end when you actually have success. So I get it. I do. But, for us, we're just so 100% invested in ourselves and our own journey that we've already been 1,000% invested into Flawless Crested Geckos, time over and over and over again. When I say we are all in, we have been all in, and at times it was feeling like we were drowning.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And I said this, and if you guys follow us on Instagram, we have VVS series on Instagram. Right. And I think it was actually number 100, the VVS series. I was talking about entrepreneurship, and a lot of people don't understand that in entrepreneurship, when you own your own business, the journey is going to be a series of mountaintop experiences and deep depths of the valley.
Roller coaster.
It's a roller coaster of emotions, of finances, of mental acuity. It's all of these things wrapped up into one, and people don't understand that just because you have a year of unbridled success doesn't mean that your next year is going to be like that. You just have to kind of ebb and flow with it. You got to ride the wave, and you just have to plan and prepare and try and work it out. And I keep going back to this all the time, and just because this is a consistent, it really made an impact on me when I saw it. And Darian Drollinger, you guys know, owns Morph Market. He had posted on Facebook, and I don't remember if it was personal or Morph Market one, but he said people don't understand the amount of work with his original business, Dubia.com. He said people don't understand that there were years where I was just literally on credit card, like just living off of credit cards. And then it would be enough to where the next year I'd make all kinds of great money. I could pay it off just to turn around and apply for more so that I could prepare myself for the next time that I was going to have this really big valley. He said, I'm blessed now because I stuck with it and kept going through those cycles. But that's what happens a lot of times when you're in entrepreneurship. It just is part of the business. People get really scared really fast and don't realize you just got to hang in there. Just hang in there.
So it was an extremely successful year, extremely successful event for us. We posted 200 geckos. We sold close to 100. There's now, I believe, 50 or 60 on the website now that the event is over. And I think we might have moved more geckos last year, but this year we moved higher dollar geckos, which was crazy.
Yeah,
even at a discount, because even last year we didn't sell out of, we didn't have as many Exantics available last year.
No, we didn't.
We didn't have as many empty backs available last year, nor high whites, and for the most part,
I don't think we had very many high whites available.
All of that sold out this year. So that was a huge success. It was a huge blessing. Also able to collaborate with Brian. You know, anytime I can get together with my brother out there, it's an awesome time. So we got together and it was very, very fluent. I mean, it was flawless. It really was.
Yeah, they just have this. I always joke because I've said years past, like they have a bromance. It's like Will has very certain people that he just absolutely invests his whole like heart and soul into, and Brian is one of those guys. Like Brian is part of our family.
Absolutely, and he absolutely crushed it on his website.
Yes,
he had over 200 geckos on his site. I think he was left with 20 left on the website. Then we crushed it on Palm Street. I believe we set a record on there. 110 geckos. We were on a Palm Street live for 7.5 hours.
Yes, they were.
Full of energy. It was so much fun.
I don't know about full of energy.
Full of energy.
Y'all were like delusional by the end of it. Ryan was over here swaying.
I mean, the engagement
he was so excited.
Was so awesome. The back and forth between everyone that was bidding and commenting, and it was just an amazing event, and sold 110 geckos there as well. So overall, across the board, it's been literally a tremendous successful year.
Yes. We are very blessed.
Very, very blessed.
Oh, and you know, I gotta add in, a lot of people don't realize that we obviously go through, you know, the day-to-day life struggles and everything. And it was funny because, you know, he's here like all the time, guys, like all the time. There's never not a day I come home and my husband's not home, which is very not like what it used to be, you know, before we got into this. And I'm so thankful, and I realize how so very thankful that I am for him this past week when I go to the grocery store on Friday and I pull into the grocery store and my car gives me this ding, 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 ding. Like I thought my whole car was about to explode. Low oil pressure sign. I'm like freaking out because it's low oil pressure. He's in Colorado because I'm like, okay, I am not bothering him with this because he's got enough on his plate right now. Like they're about to go live. It's about to be real for him. I just had the darn car towed and Ubered home. And then, but guess what, guys? We got God and our guardian angels looking after us because today we got to pick it up. And my motor is fine. It was just a switch.
So in other words, she got to ride in the Polar Bear Express when it had the big old lifted truck.
I did. Y'all looked crazy in that big old thing. Like I was trying to climb up in it. It was ridiculous. I was falling out of it. It's almost as tall. Like the actual floorboard is literally, it comes up to like my chest. So like trying to get up in that thing consistently, I think I pulled my back. I think that's what did it.
But we ended up making it through.
But we made it through, and I realized, I'm very thankful for a man that can handle things.
So it's always great, and it's perfect timing because it was Thanksgiving.
That's right.
So spent Thanksgiving away from home, but that was maybe that's something we'll talk about in another video since we're closing in on 20 minutes.
Yeah.
But sometimes you have to make a lot of sacrifices when it comes to work, business, and trying to throw your hat in there as an attempt to be successful.
Listen, for years we spent so many days apart.
I mean, holidays, everything. So
he works
was not an issue.
Christmas
every
Eve.
Single Christmas, yeah.
Like it's been.
Well, we're not even going to go there because
I've
at
worked
one point,
Christmas Eves, Christmas days.
I know you guys probably can't even imagine, and you're probably thinking, "No way."
Yeah.
But at one point, I worked every day for like 4 years.
Yeah, 4 years. Yeah.
Every day, like, days off, everything, side gigs, the whole nine.
Our like the work schedule. I said it before. He said that before, but like I mean, there were days where my day was like my longest day that I ever can remember. When I pulled out of the driveway and then pulled back into the driveway was like 59 and a half hours. I almost had a 60-hour day versus people's 40-hour weeks. So when we make these decisions where he goes and does, or I have to go and do, like, it is just a part of our process.
Absolutely.
It is for our business, it is for our family, it is for our friends, it is for this whole vision that we have pushing forward into the future. And I'm so blessed because I get him 365 days a year. If I minus about 5 or 6 days of those in that year, like, what's the big deal?
Absolutely. So hopefully you enjoyed the feedback, the review of everything, our entire event, how things are going, and things are going very, very flawless. Hey, gotta keep plugging. And we will see, or you will see us Thursday.
Yes.
Flawless Crested Geckos, Will, Audra, we are out.
Bye.